Hello YouTube, this is Morgan, Airspeed Prime here at my next Boruto anime episode review. This one's going to be for episode 55, which is called Scientific Ninja Tool. And I think very similar to last week, my review of this is basically this episode of the anime told this section of the movie very well. It was a really good episode because of that, because the movie is good story material, so the anime adaptation is also good. There were a couple of interesting new scenes, nothing huge, like super monumental, but there were a few nice things that we got here. I think the main reveal is Tamari kind of confirming to us that Shinki, I think it is Gaara's adopted son. We sort of had an idea that like was that it or not, but to find out for sure, okay, adopted, okay, that makes sense, and he's very powerful is what they say. Similarly, I suppose getting to just a quick look at the other teams that weren't really included in the movie arcs up to now. Sumare's team, and seeing her like really going for it with the analysis, freaking out her teammates because she actually knows their kind of weaknesses like that. Similarly, like Denki's team, of course, as well, getting to see that with Iwabe. Because we knew Metal Lee was included, of course, but we didn't know who his teammates were, and we're going to get to, I suppose, see what they get up to in this. Other than that, I think the main scene that I really liked was Sasuke talking to Konohamaru. I actually thought that was very well done, because it was obviously Sasuke doing the official thing of kind of saying that, like, okay, you're their kind of captain, but I'm going to be doing a lot of one-on-one training with Boruto, just to let you know officially. Konohamaru basically giving Sasuke more of the context to Boruto and kind of explaining that, from his perspective, it feels like he's kind of rebelling against Naruto because Boruto doesn't tend to get much respect because he's the son of Naruto, and the expectations surrounding that. And then I really liked that it transitioned into like, oh, you also teach my daughter, and thank you for kind of guiding her so far. You've done a good job. And it's just a nice one because obviously we know Konohamaru's connection to Naruto, but to see kind of Sasuke give him some respect as well is a kind of a nice moment, because like, did Konohamaru and Sasuke ever interact really before? I don't really think so. So this was actually a fun little scene to have, to just get that across. And then other than that, like what the episode actually accomplishes in terms of, I suppose, the scientific ninja tool, it was a surprisingly subtle, I suppose, explanation for Boruto and his kind of relationship between like him and hard work, and then him taking the easy way out of using the ninja tool. Because initially he's going for it. He's trying to do the bending, the shuriken kind of jutsu, and he's sort of getting it, but you can tell he's like this close to just giving up and just relying on the scientific ninja tool. And he uses it and sees that, like, okay, if you use a shuriken from the ninja tool, it bends like crazy. But he still goes back after that and uses them normally and passes the first section of the shuriken training. But then when Sasuke tells him to, hit the other tree that's an even harder angle to hit, he's sort of like, no, that's impossible. And I suppose the demonstration here was that it's not just doing things the way I thought you to, but it's also, using your head. That when I said hit that tree with a shuriken from this spot without just throwing directly at it, you can do it any way you want. You don't have to like directly use your chakra to bend the shuriken at like a right angle. Do like Sasuke did and have two shurikens hit each other, or something along those lines. And you could tell, like, after that he was almost on the verge of giving up, that like, it took me this much amount of time to get this bit, it's going to take me so much longer to do the second bit. And you can tell that by the end of the episode he's going to rely on the ninja tools because it's an easier way to gain more power, as opposed to, I suppose, Boruto's perspective, the slower method of gaining power, which is through hard work. And we're going to, I suppose, see, and this combined with what Sasuke said to him earlier on in the episode, with the idea that, you're asking me about Naruto, ask about who he was before, not who he is now. because now you're tackling someone who's considered like the most powerful shinobi in the world, and you're trying to, beat him now and see what his weaknesses are now. But look at the person that he was before he became Hokage, before he was acknowledged for his skills, and that person, you will see, I suppose, what you need to do. That Boruto is at a better point overall in a way than Naruto at this point, and he could have the potential to surpass Naruto, but he has to put in the same level of work that Naruto did. Because I suppose Boruto was a little shocked to see Sasuke describe him as basically like hopeless, that like he has weaknesses that, he'd run out of fingers counting the amount of weaknesses that Naruto actually has, that he was a loser, pathetic, kind of worthless, that wasn't up to much when he was younger, which we of course know from the original series. And Boruto was sort of shocked by that, but was still kind of like, no, like tell me his weaknesses, tell me how to beat him. And I suppose the idea here is, in a way, why hasn't Boruto ever talked to his father about the past? Because it's meant to be, I suppose, the symbolism of the Naruto's old jacket that kind of comes into play in this arc, and that he threw that away because it was dirty, and he doesn't understand why it was dirty and the significance of it being kept that way to really represent the importance of hard work, and him having to basically learn how bad Naruto became Hokage Naruto through hard work, and realized that that's the true way of gaining power. That is well done, and we'll get to, of course, the significant points on that kind of path as we go through, but it did those parts of the movie well. Aspects of the new scenes were well done. I think the other one was the stuff with the Otsutsukis. Again, I don't think they've been revealing anything significantly new at this point, but just they're kind of going around, they're seeing that like all evidence of like Kaguya doing what she was meant to do was sort of gone. Urashiki kind of confirms to them that she was taken out by basically her children, quote unquote, that they treat her having children on Earth and basically giving chakra to the planet as this like terrible thing. They start their quest to gather up the different tailed beasts, because that's the way to get back the chakra that they want. And it seems to suggest this idea of like the people are sent out to different dimensions to find chakra and then bring it back to the clan for some reason. And I suppose, is there a deeper significance to chakra within the culture of the Otsutsuki clan beyond just power? Is there something that they need it for beyond just powering their abilities and so on? And obviously we still have the setup of the Toneri stuff and him kind of building up Boruto as being something big. That'll be, I think, where the arc really becomes very, very interesting when they get to the end of it, and how significant they make the Boruto Momoshiki stuff when we get to the end. But anyway, next episode they seem to be setting up is like the arrival of all of the other Kage in the Leaf Village, and the start, it seems like we're going to get the start of the tuning exams as well. And it looks like it's a different exam, unless they're going to, like before, skip past the first exam very quickly in the movie. But it looks like they're just going to do a completely different exam, more similar to the way they kind of, I suppose, did it initially, where it's going to be like everyone in the forest and like every team is sort of interacting with each other. But it seems like there's going to be robots in the forest, puppets or something like that. Which definitely could be cool if they really want to demonstrate what each of the teams can do, because the first exam from the movie arc is very, very weak. It's just a basically yes/no question and then reacting to a fall. So I think they definitely did need to expand that out to make it more interesting. I assume they'll keep the team-on-team rooftop battles for the second exam, because that seems like a good way to do kind of team-on-team fights without having to quite resort to one-on-one fights just yet. And then, of course, I think the final exam obviously is going to be the classic one-on-one fights, which will get interrupted by the big, plot stuff happening. But yeah, I think that's basically everything I want to say about this episode. It plays its role very effectively and is a good episode because the movie's good. And I feel like I'll be saying that about a lot of the episodes, unless the episodes are very different, which it looks like next week's episode is actually going to have a lot of new and different content. It seems like they're very much making it clear that a lot of the characters who didn't get much focus in the movie itself or the manga will actually get a little bit more focus here, and that I assume will follow the the Sand gaining a little bit more, specifically Shiki or whatever his name is, Gaara's adopted son, and they'll really set up like who are the notable people from the other nations, basically. So yeah, looking forward to next week's episode. This one was pretty good, but nothing to really discuss too heavily. But yeah, that's been the video. Thanks for watching, and bye.